Good morning, everybody. I hope everyone is having a fabulous day. It's been kind of hectic over here in the West Coast, Arizona. We had the internet go down and people are trying to take school online, and then the husband has to have a meltdown because the email isn't working, and of course, I have control over technology, right? So I wanted to give you guys a couple minutes to get on here. If you are going to watch, and you can always watch the replay, I do appreciate your comments and questions. I would love to believe that this is helping all of you guys. I would like to see all of you be successful, so it's really important for me to be able to give back, and I love doing so. Day number 3 was titled, How to Add an Extra 15 grand to Your Bottom Line. Depending on the size of your business, you can add an extra $15,000 to your bottom line by doing these simple things. And initially, let me remind you, I actually didn't think that this would work either for my business until I tried it. So all you can do is try it. It may be a wonderful thing and you can add an extra 15 grand, and it may not work for you, but you don't know until you try. So first and foremost, I'm going to reference my notes here so that I can make sure I don't get off track. First and foremost, I want to talk about root density and working in singles. Root density, and that's R-O-U-T-E, not R-O-O-T, like roots, tree roots. Root density is really important. So when you're running up your schedule, try to take charge of what that's going to be. I know sometimes clients want one day here and one day there, and we're all eager to please. But then you're running all over town. So you're wasting not only your time, you're not able to cluster your homes together because you're not in the same area. You're driving from one point to 40 miles away, and then you're driving back over 15 miles to another house because they have to have a certain time. Just dictate your schedule and try to cluster your groups of your houses together. If you have employees, do the same thing. It'll actually save you in labor and mileage and fuel costs if you pay and reimburse that versus where if you don't pay for fuel. It's just all a way to shave down and make more profit for you guys. So that's really important. So clustering your homes together in the same neighborhoods. For example, I know of one girl in Florida who just does apartment cleanings, and Florida has a lot of apartment buildings, so she can literally be in one building for 2 or 3 days with her crews just going through all of the apartments that just need regular maintenance cleaning. So, and that kind of saves her on mileage. Everyone just kind of meets there, and that works out, and it's very fortuitous for her. So make sure that you're doing root density, and think about working in singles. I know initially I was kind of like, you want me to do what? Because I actually started off as an independent, and then I did the traditional business model, and I had teams because that's what I was taught. Working in singles is more profitable, and it adds more to your bottom line. And after you go through the transition, depending on if you have employees or not, you're able to cover more on the schedule. So for example, if you have 10 employees, right now you can cover 10 houses because a team of 2 would work 10 houses. So you'd have 2 houses per day for a team of 4, basically. But if you were to work in singles and you had a group of 10, then you'd actually be able to cover 20 houses instead of just 10 houses. And then that way you can double your volume and add more to your bottom line. It took me a little while to transition. I had a little bit of anxiety doing it, but once I got the hang of it and I realized that, oh my gosh, everyone really can clean by themselves, it was awesome. And the best part, quality control was awesome too. So you had, for example, and I know some of you have probably gone through this yourself, I've done it, you send 2 ladies in, and it's Susie and Mary, and the client calls and says someone missed the bathroom, and Susie says it was Mary that cleaned the bathroom, and Mary said it was Susie who cleaned the bathroom, so there's really no accountability over who cleaned the bathroom, you just wanted it cleaned, right? If you send singles in there, it makes it better because one person's in there and one person's out, and it makes the relationship better between the client and the employee, which makes it better for you because then you're having, the same person for the most part, unless they call out sick or win the lottery. That's what I used to say. I actually did have one girl win the lottery, but we'll talk about that later. So it just makes it familiarity, and then they get to have the same person. One person should be able to clean a house fluidly, as you guys all know. Some of you guys are still independents. If you're having teams, I would transition them, especially if you're running teams of 3, you're wasting labor immensely. I mean, it's just doubled this number. So I just did a quick math for you. So if you have a team of 2 that is loading and unloading at the office, Then they're driving over to a client's house, they're loading and unloading there. Then they're gonna be finished with the client's house, they're loading and unloading, and then they're gonna drive to the second house that's loading and unloading. That's literally 40 minutes times 2, so that's 80 minutes a day that you're just wasting on labor. Or if you worked in a single, you would shave that right off, and then you would eventually, depending on your pay structure, you'd be able to eliminate that pay entirely. So, which I ended up doing towards the end before I sold my business. So that's really, really important. Let's talk about scheduling. So when you have your schedule and you are going Monday through Friday, I know some of you are still working 7 days a week because of COVID, and hopefully it'll return back to a Monday through Friday schedule soon for you guys. Try to schedule your schedule like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays to have monthlies. I try to put all of my monthlies on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays. So if I actually have monthlies out of my area, they only get 1 day per month, and they all have to agree to cooperate and be able to fit everybody in, so that we're like, when we're 40 miles away, I have 5 houses that all get done on that day, and they're done by the same team. The 2 girls drive from different areas. So that makes it more fluidity on your schedule, and it makes people understand that you are taking the extra effort to meet them halfway. By that, what else I mean by the schedule is I would save your best spots, which are Thursdays and Fridays, for your weeklies and bi-weeklies. It makes it super important because you're going to want to have most people want their house clean right before the weekend because they have people coming over or family gatherings or whatever they're doing. I know we're on restrictions for COVID and some people are going through lockdown, but hypothetically speaking, in a normal situation, that's what you would want Thursday or Friday. So save your schedule there. And then 3-week schedules. I know that there's been a lot of talk on some of the groups about clients who want every 3 weeks. I initially would take them on trying to fill up my schedule, and then after my schedule became full, I would move them to a monthly spot. And a monthly spot is every 4 weeks, not every once a month, because then that's a 4-week, 5-week, 4-week, 5-week, and you're trying to rotate your schedule. Because I have a digital calendar system, just every 4 weeks. Because what will happen is you'll get a 3-week schedule, which is 17 visits, and then you'll get a bi-weekly clean who wants to come on board, and that's 26 visits. So you can do the math on what that is for the whole year, but you can take them on and with the intention of moving them to monthly, because you're not going to be taking on every 3-week clients. Or you can do what we do, and we just don't take on 3-week clients because it screws up the schedule. Nobody wants to pick up the 3rd week client because they already have 2 bi-weekly clients or 4 weekly clients. It's just, it hits them in the pocket, so they don't want to take it. So that's also super important. When you can also save a little bit of money by having your employees purchase some, if not all, of their own cleaning kit. And that eliminates you having to go and chase down that kit when they quit suddenly because it was a bad hire or whatever the reason. They just didn't care and they thrashed it all around. And it holds them accountable and it makes them responsible. For example, we actually used to charge for stainless steel polish. I actually don't even use stainless steel polish anymore. We use Becky Gates's recipe. Thank you, Becky. We use that, but we used to use a lot of stainless steel, and it was getting expensive. I mean, we'd spend like $1,000, $1,500 for the year on stainless steel polish, and it was just ridiculous. So we just started charging the employees $5 for that, and we supplied other things. We supplied like Windex or a multi-surface or the bathroom cleaner, but everything else they had to either contribute part of or buy outright. That way you're not chasing someone down for a vacuum, and it makes it their responsibility to clean it. It makes it their responsibility to wash and dry their cloths. It just makes it easier. You're not chasing things around. So that's super important. You can save labor there, and it also saves them from having to come and show up at the office. If you have a brick and mortar, then you don't have to have them come into the office, and the only time you actually would see them is when you paid them, right? It just makes it more convenient. That's actually something I learned from another business owner who has a very large business. So that's really important as well, to have them do that. And then if they are hoeing and hawing when you do the interviewing process, just let them know up front that they're required to purchase and that you can do a $5 deduction until it's paid. If you pay weekly, it just makes it really easy. They're not even missing it. It's like the price of a latte. So that makes it nice too. We also talked about that. I'm cheating from my notes. So I would seriously consider all of those things, and if you actually applied them, and I did initially, it took me a little while to transition everybody, but I ended up saving an extra 15 grand per year. So that's actually how I saved a little bit on labor and chemical costs and, transitioning with the mileage and all that other crazy stuff. So it's going to be short and sweet today. I look forward to all the rest of your questions. It's been so wonderful to speak to some of you guys over the phone. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out. I'll be more than, I would love to help you. So go ahead and either give me a call or message me. And sometimes I actually took my first Facebook call. So you just never know how that works. Anyway, you guys all take care. I hope it's fabulous where you are. All the best.